Welcome to Grateful Off Grid. In our previous video, we just finished getting the stem wall poured and getting the form stripped off of that. And the project at hand is to put these posts into the sono tubes and then pour 3 footings here. They're 2x2 footings, 1 foot thick with some rebar in them. This is going to be a covered patio coming off of the house, so that's why these posts got to go into the ground for the shear strength. So it's going to be 24 by 48, and then coming off of the 48, we've got a 12-foot covered lean-to off of each side. We had to put some 20D 4-inch galvanized nails on 2 faces of the posts. Got to get these done for the inspection tomorrow morning, and then right after this, we can start putting our columns up into our brackets. So super exciting, got a lot of work to do, and it's awesome to be at this stage where we can actually start to be getting the building up out of the ground. So sit back and enjoy. Okay, so here's, oh nice, it's pretty darn close. So we'll check to make sure the bottom is good when we use the level with where it's at, up against the string. We've got our string with where we want the post, and when I hold this level up against the bottom of the post down there and get my bubble in the middle, that tells me about how far we need the bottom of that post to go over that way. It's touching the concrete at the bottom, but just barely. So it's going to be easier to manipulate it now. So we'll get that scooted over about 1/2 inch or so. And then we pull the tape off, and we'll want this side to be at 24 feet from over there. That's right on the money. So once we let down more pressure, then we can pivot these, and the bottom is where we want it, which is what really matters. This is leaning that way a hair, so we're going to need to kick the bottom over about 1/2 inch to make it plumb. Okay. It's actually like pretty darn good. This side over here is looking pretty good too. So we'll get a stake in and screw it, and then. Okay, so now I can drop the weight on this, and then we'll have to make adjustments to plumb it, but it'll keep the bottom where it's at. Put in the comments what you think we should cover these with. LP Smart Side, paint them, leave them like they are. Give us your suggestions. Look at that.
Wow.
Right on the money. Not even a 16th. Well, there's a 16th of play with the tape. You could stretch it that far. That's pretty cool. That's just with pulling strings off of our brackets.
I've traveled this big world, lonesome I have roamed. I've laid down in green pastures, I've rolled down rocky roads. And as my hair turned silver, I lost my lust for gold. Now cups of wine can't satisfy the thirst within my soul. Narrow is the road to glory. Perdition's gates are broad and wide. On the steps you take to ponder, from the path to not far wander, for the narrow road to glory's worth the price. I broke bread with the wicked, I made my plans with fools. To the gates of destruction I've led many others through. And though my sins were many, I reached out for his robe, and through his tender mercies now my cup overflows. Narrow is the road to glory. Perdition's gates are broad and wide. On the steps you take to ponder, from the path to not far wander, for the narrow road to glory's worth the price. From the lonely orphan children to the great kings of men, all are bound to perish. Death is the wage of sin. So turn away from gossip, deceitfulness, and woe. Let the carpenter from Galilee take up your heavy load. Narrow is the road to glory. Perdition's gates are broad and wide. On the steps you take to ponder, from the path to not far wander, for the narrow road to glory's worth the price. For the narrow road to glory's worth the price.
Getting ready to change out the battery here in this the scissor lift. It's totally shot. It's at like 2 volts. It's not taking a charge. So I went to Walmart and I picked up this Everstart Platinum battery, 850 cold cranking amps. This battery will work great. It was 180 bucks. So we'll get that put in there, and then I'll take the other battery to the bench, open up the cells, and fill it with distilled water, put it on a charge, see if we can bring it back. But till then, got this one, got to keep working. So each one of these posts, there's 5 here that go on the other side of the shop. And so I'm gonna go check those brackets and figure out, you know, I've got my high bracket marked, so then however much lower it is than that, I'll come to the bottom of this, where this line is, and I'll do that measurement off each side and then cut it with a saw. Got my measurements off of each one. Bracket 1 is 1/8 inch low, 3/16, quarter, 1/8, 5/16. And I transfer those dimensions onto the bottom of these. So however much lower it is than my tallest bracket is just how much I cut off of the bottom. That brings them all to the same elevation and makes everything level. It's not much, but it all adds up, and try to do the best we can. So I just got all the wall girts marked out, 16 inch on center for the top of the girt, and then I've got my truss blocking installed. This is an end column, so the truss blocking on this one it's a 4-foot 2x6 with like a million nails in it, and actually I think it's the 36 nails. Then I've got a 14 inch keel on my truss, and then enough space to do a 2x6 outrigger, since my trusses, or since my purlins are going to go on edge on top of the truss with blocking. I'll do a truss will sit on both sides of the post, and then there'll be a block that goes between it. Then my 2x6 purlins go and they meet in the middle like this and sit on top of the truss. I've gone up enough that this sticks up a 2x6 length for my outrigger to stick out. So I've got that already cut at my 5/12 pitch, so I don't have to cut these after everything's up. My blocking is installed, and the rest of the blocking that's going to go on these columns is I'm going to be, instead of nailing it, I'm going to be bolting through with some big 3/4 inch galvanized bolts to be able to hold the rest of the trusses, because the bolts can stick out on those and those will be okay. I just want to say that I tried to buy 7/8 drill, or bit, but they only had 3/4, so that's why I have exactly 3/4 for my 3/4 bolts. Just want everybody to know I wanted 7/8. I really did. out right here? Yeah, this is perfect. All right, so on this shop end wall, we're going to be doing our own rafters with 2x12s on both sides of the post. We're about to set these 3 middle posts here. I still have to make up blocking for that rafter on this column and the far column. So I'm trying to do some math to figure out where to put that 2x6 blocking on the column. So since 12 foot is right here and the bracket's a little bit off, what we're going to do is pull from the outside measurement to right here. So we've got 11 feet 8 3/4 inch minus. I'm going to do 11 feet 8 inch 3/4. We're going to go up here and hit, that's our run, and we're going to do, it's at a 5/12 pitch, so we'll go 5-inch pitch. That gives us our rise. The bottom part of our truss is 17 feet and 6 7/8 inches. And then our heel height is 14 inches. So if I go plus 14 inches, we'd want it to be 23 feet 7.5 inches up. And then we'll mark 5/12 going up this way. And then that will plane out at the exact same pitch as the rest of the roof. So what was that, 23 7.5? Yeah, 23 7.5. This is going to be the top of our truss here. So we'll go onto our common 5/12 pitch here. Okay, so this is where our blocking goes here. And we'll use our spike strips here. And then this is where we're going to cut off the top of the column. And then our 2x12 goes here. We leave extra for our outriggers to attach those to. This seems way easier than the telehandler. It's probably because you're such a good driver. All right, so we got these stood up, and when we were standing them, I would only put 2 of the temporary holding screws. We just lifted them up with the skid steer, set them into place, and I just put 2 in there, and I could just loosen these a tiny bit, and it would give me the play that I needed to get it leveled. We would only attach 1 of the ears, and then we would move on to the next one so we could do this part together. I'll tighten it up. Okay. All right, on to the next one. Here we go. Good morning. Back out on the job. It's supposed to be over 100 today, so getting a nice early start. Actually got out here at about 4, but it was a little too dark to film, and it's kind of cleaning up the job site. So the goal for today is to put some wall girts about halfway up on these posts. Then I can square up my wall, and that way, as I put the rest of the wall girts up, I know that all of the columns are right where I want them. So I'll probably start about halfway up, run all the way around, pull my chains. I'll probably use straps actually, and then get my walls right where I want them, and then I'll tack up the rest of the wall girts. And if I can get that done before, I don't know, we'll see. If I can get it done before 1, that would be good, because it's supposed to be super hot, and I'd rather get that done and go work on some other stuff. Let's get some wall girts up, square up our walls.